back. We're here. Man, Adepticon is right around the corner.
It's finally here. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. I'm just over the moon at how exciting this is. I obviously we're joined by Trent, who is actually in Chicago at Adepticon right now. A little jet lag though, right? Coming over from Germany.
Yeah, a little bit. I left my house in Germany at 5 o'clock local time this morning. So it
Oh
was
man.
and the worst part, I won't get into it. Really wasn't a bad trip, honestly, because it was like a 7.5 hour flight to JFK and then a 3 hour flight from there to into Chicago. But dude, the customs at JFK, I'm not exaggerating when I say there was 1,000 people in line, and I waited for 3 hours just to get there.
I
I thought I
bet.
was gonna miss my flight, and I had a 4 hour layover, but I made it.
Mm,
I made it.
that's
Thank
awesome.
God.
That's awesome. Well, obviously, Trent, you're already in Chicago. I leave tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. with Mike Horner, my local friendly gaming store owner. So we'll be heading up tomorrow. So this is one of the favorite times of the year, the day before you leave for Adepticon, right? So I'm super excited about it. But there's a lot to cover. We have a lot to chat about in this
Yeah, we do.
this live stream. So first of all, this is kind of hey Christian. So this is our conclusion to our Road to Adepticon series. Love to hear what your thoughts are on the Facebook page in terms of did you enjoy the series? We actually had 10 episodes, and this is the finale. Be curious to hear what your thoughts are. Did you enjoy it? Because if you did enjoy it, I think we're due to do this again in June, July, on the roll up to U.S. Masters and Best of the Rest, which is taking place in Omaha, Nebraska. So I can't wait. Is this Tyler?
That's got to be Tyler.
It's got to be Tyler. Yeah.
Tyler, don't hate me. I didn't sign up for Firefight. I forgot to.
Well, we're gonna get to that. I have a little issue too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to that. But yeah, if you enjoyed this coverage, please let us know, and we'll do this. Hopefully, do the same thing for the Best of the Rest and U.S. Masters. We're gonna be there with bells on, right? So me and Jeremy will both be there. Jeremy will probably qualify. I'll be in the Best of the Rest tournament, and we'll be podcasting our butts off like always. So before we do that, though, we've had a gap in coverage. You guys may have seen we had a little bit of gap. We've had a lot of people sick, and to be fair to me, I 100% had to be focused. Like I got the 80% done. That last 20% I had to be Hercules for the last 2 weeks to just dive in and get the stuff done. And for those that aren't going to make Adepticon, I'm going to show you some pictures of some of the units that I'm on my Salamander army. I'm going to show you some pictures of it. I think it came out really great. Awesome, Christian. I appreciate the comment. Yeah, so Christian just said that he did enjoy it because he hasn't been. He's not been for the Adepticon team event. The team event is my favorite event, right? It's my favorite. Yeah, it's Tyler. Of course, it's Tyler, but Tyler doesn't know how to give permission. Oh yeah, Mark. Yeah, so I can't wait. Oh, and here's our new friend Andy, who's famous now, getting real good feedback on his episodes. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. So, anyways, we've had a gap in coverage. We've had a couple. I think it's been about 7 days since we released an episode, and I know a lot of you are getting itchy.
7 days.
Oh yeah, we were banging them out twice. Here's the thing: we were all real busy on other stuff. So, you know what? It is what it is. But get ready. You're about to be hit with an avalanche. The first thing is Adepticon coverage is going to be a deluge, right? We'll record 30 or 40 hours of content probably over the week, and that'll break down into however many shows I can get out of it, right? We'll do a yeoman's effort in terms of that. But in terms of all the other stuff that we've got going on, let me just give you a taste. So we do have the Abyssal Dwarf Army review. Legitimately, it is a real monster of an episode. We recorded for 4 hours. We did not even touch on background. We did not even answer listener questions. We just got through the army review, and that was 4 hours. So this is definitely going to be a 2-part episode. And so look for that one to be coming out right after Adepticon. I'm about an hour into editing, and I've probably got another 8 hours of editing, something like that. But be on the lookout for that. We have another episode about maintaining your hobby mojo. I think you saw a post from Billy Smith on our Countercharge page asking for tips. With him and Alex recorded a nice little episode, kind of going over how do you maintain your hobby mojo. The next one that I'm working on, I'm like, this one, Trent, it just got me like fired up, maybe even more than Adepticon. No, not that much.
No, there's no way.
We're getting Joe McLaren back on. Joe McLaren was on our show November of 2015. That was almost 8 years ago. He hasn't been on the show since.
Wow.
We're getting him back on. And why would you know Joe? Well, Joe is the ultimate budget conscious gamer. This guy makes beautiful armies on a shoestring budget, but also he is a famous illustrator who has done the logo for the Clash of Kings UK event. So we're going to get him back on to chat. He kind of had a time where he was kind of took a break from Kings of War. He's back in the fold, and he's promised to come on and bring us up to speed, because this guy exudes passion, and he's got some really pretty armies, and he is a green bases. So I'm sure that's a Mark Zielinski special. So the question was, will we be doing bat reps? 100%. Tyler's bringing his gear. We will have they will have firefight bat reps. I'm not sure yet about what I will say is we are going to try, right? And we'll obviously post whatever we've got. And if they're on Tyler's YouTube channel, we'll let you know. But here's Trent first here. You know what else we're doing? We're recording with Ronnie next week about Dungeon Saga. So we have a whole episode on the new Dungeon Saga that's hitting Kickstarter on, I believe, March 30th.
Yeah.
For that, Ronnie is Ronnie, right? I mean, Ronnie's an amazing interview. Oh,
yeah, speaking.
So let me just, for those who don't know the face, this is Trent, right?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Trent.
Trent. He was my sidekick on almost half of the Road to Adepticon episodes, I think.
Yeah, we did a few. I've been on a few episodes now.
He's one of the men behind the community building series. So, and that's a great segue because we're working on episode 6. It would have been 5, but the Pathfinder ended up being 2 episodes, one for the US and one for the UK. And so
those
in episode
great
6,
episodes, by the way, the Pathfinder.
Thank you. I think it was cool interesting to hear the difference between like the proper British, and then like the Americans were kind of more like, yeah, whatever, right? But we're working on an FLGS episode. What can stores do to help build and foster communities? So that's coming. There's so much coming. We have more with Andy covered, right? Our 40K, our favorite 40K player. On this next one, I'm going to be working to get a very good EOD player to join us and have him review his list. Classic Felix.
Oh
Classic.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about trimming it, but
the reality is if I could grow a stash like that, I would, but I can't. But yeah, other episodes coming down the pipe. We have Ratkin Slaves is the next army review that I'm doing as soon as Abyssal Dwarfs are done. We also have Basilean and Undead coming, and those were the last army reviews coming out of the poll we did last year. So at that point, clean slate, we'll get a new poll up and we'll get the next batch, the next 6 to 10. Yeah. Oh, and then the one that's probably the most interesting is, we did put a post up, what do players want from a scoring system? We have a series coming out on that where part 1 will be, what do players want from a scoring system? Part 2 will be what do TOs want? And then part 3 will be a comparison of the available scoring systems. And we'll dig into a Blackjack, Northern Kings, Countercharger scoring system. Bull. What's the one in the UK that just used? Bull Run, Bull something. I don't know. BS. I don't know. It's got a name. But yeah, there's just a ton. Yeah, there's just a ton.
And then I mean, not talking about tournament scoring systems, but then when I look at like how the each Masters regions do their points for the rankings, it's so confusing to me.
Yeah, my head explodes. Everybody does it differently. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you think? I mean, wouldn't it make sense to have like one standardized one?
You know what? This is America, baby.
For the U.S.
We got 50 states with 50 sets of opinions.
50 states.
So we've got 8 regions, and each region is independent. So, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess as long as it's consistent within the region, it doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, in general, you're all earning. Every region is letting you earn points, right?
Yeah.
In some method, right? It really the formula is what changes. Yeah. So get some newbies, 1 to 3. Yeah, for sure. We actually have that in the cards. We were going to do a newbie episode or a new player episode. And I definitely, this is a shout out to anybody that's listening. If you're new and you're going to be at Adepticon, I want to interview you on the podcast. And I would love to have a collection of new players to the game that we could build a new, that'd be a kickoff for our episode. Yeah, that's a good comment. We can't even agree on college football.
Yeah, that's a good point, Felix. That's a very good point.
For sure, Christian. Well, now to be fair, you got a lot of Flames of War cred to your name, but under Kings of War, you are a newer player, so that'll work. That'll work. All right. Well, let's keep. We have a lot. I'm talking fast, and we have a lot. Go ahead.
Speaking of the new players, I mean that's how we met, man. Like at I know I met you at Lone Wolf, but at KCGT when I actually got to sit down. Well, when you table me, you're like, hey, you should come and do like a quick podcast thing, and I liked it, and now I'm here. So it was pretty cool.
And let me just
don't be shy.
Yeah, so you're a contributor to the show now. If you go to our website, you're posted on there. I asked Tyler and Timberlake to give me some content or a little bio so I could give them credit as a contributor to the show. Still nothing. I don't know. Are they just scared?
Man,
they don't
you gonna put them on blast like that on the live stream?
That's how I do it, right? So
yeah.
All right. Well, let's transition. Before we get to the Adepticon talk, we do have a Mantic Slow Grow League that's kicked off in high fashion. I mean, this thing is blowing up. And just as a reminder, the goal is to paint 2,300 points of Kings of War and or Firefight. So build a 2,300 point Kings of War army, a 23-point Firefight army, or both if you want.
That 2,300 points or more.
Or more, exactly. There's a word for more.
Yeah.
So the thing else I want to mention, and we've had a lot of questions on this, is that for the monthly updates, they don't necessarily always have to be the army you're working on. If you want to slide it in an Armada fleet, or you want to do a Dead Zone, strike, what are they called? Strike Force, I guess, or a Vanguard warband, be my guest. The updates on month-to-month basis, just share whatever you've got. That's the key. Now, at the end of the year, you got to land at the end. So put your monthly updates in, and that gets you entered into the monthly raffle. But to get the great awards at the end of the year, you have to contribute every single month. Every single month, we need an update. Show us what you've been working on. And it doesn't have to be that army. It could be Armada. It could be whatever. Make sure you get it in this month, because if you don't do it this month, you're not in for the end of the year awards. So, and this is an open question. I have painted a crap ton of Sallies in the last 3 months. I've got a few more to paint. What do you want to see me work on next? I kind of want to crowdsource this. Like what army you want? I have all the models. Like I just go to the shop downstairs in the garage. I have all the armies ready to go, and some are even built. What do you want to see? What army you want me to build? And I say that. Wait till you see the army that I did for Adepticon. I'm trying. I am like my feet are not touching the ground. Like I can't wait to show people this army.
Dude, all those pictures you sent me. I think it was this morning right before I flew, last night for you, yeah. Dude. Like you should be proud of that.
I'm excited. Man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We're gonna show you some units tonight, but I'm gonna reserve the money shot, if you will, till I get to the event. Right?
I like
really cool features
outside. You took the picture outside.
Yeah, I took it outside.
Lighting on the buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Slow Grow, get in there, get signed up. Let's get rolling. I want to build you a table. I want to build you the most epic terrain table in the planet. And if you need to see some pictures, they're on Facebook. You can go check them out. I have lots of pictures of my tables. So yeah, can't wait to do that. So the rules for the Mantic Slow Grow are on the Facebook page. Go to the feature section, click on the post. All the details are there, how you score, right? And really the points and stuff, all that really matters is for one award. There's an award for the largest army, right? So that's where those come to play. The rest of it are, we'll have one award called the best army. That'll be voted on by you. We'll put pictures of your army up, and we'll have the community vote on who's the best army. And your definition of best, whatever you want it to be, could be the best painted, could be the best modeled, could be the coolest design, the coolest display board, whatever you want to do. And then we'll also have the major award, which is straight up everybody that participates all 10 months and completes their 2,300 point army by December 31st is in this raffle. And when it's done, you will be on the show lots of times and on live streams. And you and I will build a table together. We'll sketch out stuff. We'll design it, from the ground up. And so I'm excited about this one, Trent, because here's a weird thing about me.
How much would that cost the winner?
I don't know, but I don't ever do stuff for other people. I'm too it takes me so long to do stuff. I just the only time other people get my stuff is typically okay, for terrain, I'll build a bunch and then maybe it wears out. And then it's all right, you can have my hand-me-downs. But I don't ever build a bespoke table for somebody. So I'm excited about it. And for Kings of Memphis, which is also coming up, and by the way, signups are open. I'm building another table for this year, and I think what I'm building is a city fight table. So big cobblestone, lots of big buildings, lots of alleys and stuff. It's going to be interesting. So, all right. Well, let's keep rolling, dude. We're already.
No, that's so cool. It's. I just wanted to say on that. I don't want to take up too much time because I know we got a lot to go through. But just being able to see your creative process for that, document it, that's gonna be so cool.
I can't wait.
And whoever gets it.
Yeah, and to be fair, I said this before. If it's a firefight table, cool. I've done science fiction stuff too, right? It's not like it has to be fantasy. Or if you came and said, Rob, I want a Vanguard table, or Rob, I want an Armada. By the way, I'm bringing my Armada terrain, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. It's cool. So I mean, if you want Armada, whatever you want, I'm happy to give you. If you go Armada though, I got to give you some sea monsters, right? For real. I can't just give you a bunch of hills, right?
You got to get the Kraken in there, right?
Exactly right. Exactly right. But I'm not going to use the Manti Kraken. I will sculpt you a Kraken.
Damn, that's a little extra, but I like it.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, if it's an Armada table, the pieces aren't very big, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, that is true. It's such smaller scale.
Well, let's get into some Adepticon chat. First up, let's talk about our hobby accomplishments. Trent, what did you get accomplished?
I am officially done. It was 7,450 points of undead, 2,300 of which was specifically for Adepticon. I just showed Rob my Pelican case that I flew over with.
I'm so jealous.
And so far, from the top layer, everything looks okay. I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow because I'm super jet lagged. I'm gonna open it up so I can sit down and glue it. But everything made it, man. I got my dice, my suitcases here. I'm ready to go. But for the hobby stuff, so I painted all that undead, and I was able to finish my backstory. My backstory even made it with I have the little picture frame for it. It didn't crack or anything, and I'm pretty excited about this. It's not a huge deal, but I thought it was kind of original. So I have a title. A small title with my name on it, and then another picture frame with the actual story. On the title, if you guys are around the Adepticlash area and see my army, there's a QR code that you can scan, and it has a little blurb hey, thanks for checking out my stuff. Oh, come on,
bro.
And it has my Forces of Nature backstory, which is referenced in my Undead backstory. So,
yo, you're killing me here.
I don't have a display board that I made.
No, I have a display board for you.
Yeah.
Look, to be fair, no one's is gonna beat you up over it. But I have a feeling, just a feeling, what I'm bringing is gonna look pretty good with your army. I have a feeling about it.
Okay,
I have a feeling about it.
This is like a secret.
Yeah, I have a.
Do you get in tomorrow?
I get in tomorrow. We leave tomorrow at 6, then we'll be there late afternoon, early dinner time. So yeah, and we'll talk about the schedule. Yeah, we'll talk about the schedule towards the end of the show.
And by the way, it's a 6-minute drive from our hotel.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
and
so we're solid.
And for those that came in later, Trent is already holding down fort in the hotel.
Yeah. Look, Rob, I got you a spot right here. And I brought earplugs
Tyler on the floor.
I brought earplugs.
Well, I have a CPAP machine. I don't snore anymore.
I don't know what's worse, the CPAP or your snoring.
Okay, but I'll still bring earplugs. Either way, I'll still bring earplugs. All right. Well, all right. Hobby accomplishments. So you're done with your undead army. Is there anything left to paint?
I have. So I did a pretty large order with Mantic. I think I talked about this a few times. it was for my undead. Like I ordered the Mantic Revenant Cab, I ordered the Mantic Wraiths and some other things like that. And they sent me one of the special undead characters that you get with the Mantic points. I
Is it the
think it
one
was
with the
like
dog?
yeah. So I have that, and I didn't want to throw it in the queue because I got it kind of late. But I'm like really excited to paint that up. And then yeah, I admit I kind of cheated a little bit on my Revenant Cavalry. So I did the infamous or famous slap chop method, and the armor, dude. I was so happy with how it turned out. But I actually really liked how just the skeletons looked with the black. So I did full black prime, quick zenithal on the gray, and then I did a really heavy white dry brush. I like how that looked. So I actually just added it in my story. I'm like, hey, my Revenant Cavern made of stone. So I just kind of went with that. But I think they look good. But yeah, I'm done with all the undead except for that one model that was like in my entire backlog for the last 2 years. And now the
That's
problem is I
amazing.
don't know what I want to do next. But I'm taking April off from painting. I'm going to play a lot of
Oh,
Rocket
I'm
League and a
not,
lot
bro.
of
I am
RuneScape.
like as much like literally. Well, let's talk about this. So, Kings of War. I had a few goals for this army. Number one, 100% Mantic, no exception. Preferred model count,
Yeah.
no exception. The third thing isn't really a Mantic thing, but is I wanted to learn 3D modeling, how I could take buildings and chop them up and make bases out of them and make it so the units pull out of the base, out of the buildings and stuff. And honestly,
That was so cool.
mission accomplished. I spent many an hour on tutorials. You end up using a software called Lychee. And once I figured out how to do it,
that's one of the more popular ones, right?
yeah, and I'm paid for the year now, the service, so I'm just gonna keep rocking and rolling on it. But here's the killer: I wanted to do it in 3 months, so mid-December to mid-March,
We
and
started about the same time, I think.
yeah. So I did something different that I don't normally do. I painted all the models first, and then I did the basing and the display board after. Usually it's the other way around with me. Like I have my cool, like with the halflings, I designed the mountain rocky formation bases, and then I put the models on before they're painted to figure out how they're going to sit. Didn't do any of that. And I will say, we'll get to it when I get to the pictures. Some of these models are big, and it took a Tetris-like approach to get them to fit. Because remember, I've got scenic elements on these bases. So there's no overhanging on the back. I can't have the rhino calf's butt hanging off the back of the base because there's a wall there, right? So
yeah,
it was really a lot of effort to get it to fit, but it fit.
And it's funny you say that about the oh my god, I'm so tired. It's funny you say that about the we'll just edit this out. No, we're live.
Yeah, there's no editing here.
What? Oh my god, what were you just said? Oh, it was funny you said that you switched up your process from doing the basing first to painting first, because I'm the same way. I always do the basing first, but this time I realized that it would have made more sense to paint everything, because like with the Revenant Cab, I had such small contact points on the hooves and little rocks that it was hard to glue on. Like I wish I would have kept the oval base that comes on there to have more surface area to glue down. So I think the next army that I do, I'm going to paint everything first and then do the basing. And also, I finally want to show off. It's going to be hard to see, but one of my zombie legions.
I like it.
Don't know.
It looks like a horde of zombies.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. This is really hard to use on my iPhone. My little corpse cart. So everything's Mantic except the little terrain elements. And then I found a corpse cart, which I don't know what it was called on my mini factory or whatever the website is.
Might have been called the corpse cart, because GW used to be a GW Warhammer unit, right?
Yeah, so they still have them, and I thought about ordering them, but they were so expensive, and I printed 2 of these out, and I think it really it looks pretty dope.
You know what you need to do
better in person.
At some point you need to make a trip over to Memphis. We'll go in the garage and we'll see what I've got.
Rob, get this. So I'm going to UK Clash of Kings with the Mupp crew.
Yep.
Mantic
Universe podcast. Well, we need to have our countercharge face there, right? And so we have to face a countercharge going.
Yeah. Hey, and before I forget to tell you, listen, I only have one sticker on my Pelican case, and it is a MUP sticker, but I'm still countercharged through it.
Oh,
I'm still countercharged through and through
well,
before you
I've
say
got a
anything.
swag bag for you that's gonna be decadent.
Okay,
That's all I
okay.
got to say. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're doing that. And obviously we're gonna play in the in that tournament there. But and so me, Chris Thomas, Clem, and Mark are going there, and I think Mark is like working with Ronnie to give us a Mantic headquarters
Mark,
tour.
which Mark?
Zelensky.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be we're really excited about that.
Awesome.
But anyways,
Awesome.
I digress. Let's keep going.
Yeah. So Salamander Army, wanted to do it in 3 months. I got about 2,500 points painted, so I'm good there. I still have more to paint though. I still have ceremonial guard, some unblooded, a bunch of fire elementals, greater fire elementals. I've got more stuff to paint, right? But well, you know what? Let's just shut up and let me just show you some pictures. How's that? That's probably the best. People just want to see pictures, right?
I feel so special. I've seen these before.
Yeah, well, you're part of the inner sanctum, right? You're part of the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
So you can tell how often I mess with this. Let me turn this off here. All right. So all right.
Oh, dude, starting
All
off
right.
swinging with the Phoenix.
Well, this is ironically the last. Well, it's okay. I'm gonna do some more work on it. You know, it's I don't have an airbrush, so it's something I'm gonna rectify by going to some classes at Adepticon.
Wait, all of that you didn't do that with an
100%. There's no airbrush work at all.
Oh man,
yeah, rattle can and then all brush work, and
that's
it took,
awesome.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. The last model I finished it Sunday night. So, and you can see here he's got a tile base. He actually sits in a tower of a building, so it's pretty cool. Packing the army into the battle foam case, I broke a few models. I'm a little nervous about it. We'll see. It's all magnetized, but this son of a gun is just over 6 inches tall, which means I only can have 2 shelves in my 720 battle foam case. So that really cheeses me off. Like I got this guy that's this big and it's wasting a lot of space in the case. So I don't know long-term the plan, but
that's a resin model, right?
It is. And it was it was a real pain to put together. I'll be honest with you. It was hard to put together. I mean, I had a lot of work to clean him up and get him pinned and all that. But you know what? He's done. And he's table ready. And he's going to kick ass and take names this weekend. So
yeah, I think that's a good tabletop standard there. You know, I think it'll pass.
I think so. Yeah. When I'm back, I'm probably going to do a little more work on the flames to really kind of, add a little bit more blending there. And then probably add a third, another highlight because there's only a couple highlights on the feathers. So, well, let's keep rolling. Let's go to the next one. So this is the first of 2 Skylords, but this is another thing that I got to play with, UV curable resin, right? So basically this is a 3D printed fountain. And let me just tell you, we're going to get to Scorch Wings and other things. And I use clear acrylic rod for that. The problem I had on this one, and which is why I have a painted rod coming out of this, really there's like a 1/32 piece of brass rod is all I could drill out in this fountain itself. There wasn't room to do like a big giant where I could take a 1/16 of an inch piece of acrylic rod, right? I couldn't. There was just no room for that. So we got a comment from Christian. Yeah. Battlefield was great. Like I was a slow to convert over, but now that I have converted over, I'm all about it. But so back to this guy. Basically, what's really cool is I was able to play with the Green Stuff World, the UV curable resin. And so what I did was I took clear acrylic rod and glued them under the edge and then dripped it down to gave me something to flow on top of, right? While it's curing, flow it down. And it kind of has like a curtain of water coming out. When I get back, I think I'm going to come up here. I'm going to highlight this a little bit and I'm going to add some more water. Like he's literally like there's more fountain up here, right? And have it shooting out and down below the bird and kind of coming down like at an angle somehow. So more work to do on this one. But to be fair, I'm very happy with the way this thing came out, right? I think it's cool. He's literally riding on, well, he's based on a fountain. So it's a little, it's not super strong. Like there literally is a connection point is a 1/32 piece of brass rod. So that's a little finicky, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Oops. Let's go to the next one. All right, this is one of two battle captains on Rhinosaur. I only have one on my list, but that's how I roll, man. I'm and maybe the audience can tell me which one they like better, and that's the one I'll use this weekend. This is number one. This is just a Rhinosaur captain or a Rhinosaur cavalry model with the basic legs, but then the top piece is the actual infantry battle captain. So that he's basically cut, and I added some epoxy sculpt to kind of blend it in. So this one, a little bit of conversion work, which is cool, right? In retrospect, I'm looking at he's got two swords. Probably not the most practical thing when you're mounted on a Rhinosaur is to have two short, stubby swords. But I think the next one though, this one kind of goes a different direction, right? So this is literally just the Rhinosaur cavalry model, but it's got the battle captain head instead of the two swords. So really not a conversion, just a head swap. But I love this pose of this Rhinosaur. He's on his 2 feet on the front and he's like jumping. It's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
This one was like, go ahead.
No, sorry. For the bases on the one before and this one, is that part of the like sliced out 3D print, or did you actually sculpt
it is
those,
so they're not they don't actually drop into a building. They kind of go in front of the army on the display board, but that is the tile that is from the buildings. Nice. So I have a big sheet and I cut it and cracked it, and same thing here, right? And then there's that. Remind me when we get to the cobblestone to tell you what a dumbass I was. Just remind me to tell that story, because it was bad. I was like, oh my God, this was work, because I'm stupid. So anyways, what do you guys think? You guys like this one, or do you guys like this one? Which one is your preference? Which is the one that should be leading my army at Adepticon Clash this weekend? All right, let's keep rolling. Next, we got 2 Lachilodons. They're going to look very much the same, but I can guarantee you that they're not. Because I even though that's the same model, this is a stock Lachilodon. Stock. This is sort of stock, but not really. Like, if you look at their arms, actually, this is the one that's been modified. So you can see here, there's like a resin crest, which I took the so I don't know how I had this. I have a bits box, right? And I have a resin or fine cast resin Carnosaur, the old one from Warhammer. And I literally trimmed off the spines off the back and used it to make like a headdress on him, just so I could tell him apart.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I repositioned the arm a little bit, and the tail's a little bit different. You can tell there's a little, this is stock 100%. This is tail's a little bit different and the arm's a little bit different. So I got 2 of those. Yeah. So, all right. Oh, look at this. I got, so Felix thinks Spear Boy. And then this person says 2 swords.
2 swords.
So right now it's 1-1. So, all right.
I got to vote Spear to put my voice out there.
I will say,
cool. It's a cool
Spear
pose.
one. The head paint job probably not as good as it should have been, but it is what it is. It's painted. My favorite color is done. All right, well, let's keep rolling. So next up, we've got Ember Sprites, aka Croc Dogs. So to kind of give it a little bit of a sense that they are Ember Sprites and they shoot fire, I took some bits. Where do they get these? I think these bits are from some of the tyrants. Like they had like flame pieces from some of the units, right? And I just added a few. I got 2 units of them, and I just added a simple blue flame coming out of a few of their mouths. That's it. What's funny is I actually painted up 4 more than this. So you can see there's 6 on each base. I actually painted up 16 of them, thinking I was going to do 8 and 8. Ain't no way in hell I can get 8 on this base. Like I tried it. And it was like this. So I've got 4 more. I don't have it with me.
What are you talking about?
I've got another. So those other 4, I've got a great idea, and I'll have to show it to the audience later. What I'm doing for the next one. I'll just say it. I'm gonna take an extra tyrant model with a whip, and I'm gonna have the 4 guys, the 4 other Croc Dogs on there. So he's like whipping them into shape, and I've already got the base for the tyrant is already built into the display board, and you'll see it at Adepticon. But all right, let's keep rolling. I'll be honest with you. These next units, I'm not going to be no kidding. These are my favorite units in the army. Now, are they any good? Don't know. I never played Salamanders ever. Never played this list ever. So I'm not building a list because it's effective. I'm building a list because it looks cool. So
right there with you.
Boom. So this is unit number 1. This is a horde of Rhinosaur cavalry. You can obviously tell there's a wall, but you can't see there's actually stairs on the backside. So yeah, it's super cool. I love it. But
is that the cobblestone on there that you were talking about earlier?
yes, all right, let me tell you. So
Yeah,
my
yeah.
intention was to print a sheet of cobblestone, and I would just take a knife and I would just cut out sections and I would drop it in. But I wanted it thin. So I spliced it. I sliced it on lychee so that like it's real thin. Guess what happened? I sliced it so thin that they were all individual cobblestones. So there are thousands of cobblestones on my bases, and they had to be individually glued one at a time.
Oh my god! That's
And
dedication.
my wife, bless her heart, took time to help me like lay them out. My daughter like helped with because these are all you know. It's all those. I should mention. It's a everything in the army from the basing and the let's just talk about everything. The bases are all 1/4 inch MDF that I had a friend cut. The basing, like terrain and the accoutrements, it's a mix of resin or filament. You know the traditional 3D print. You can see the ones that are different. So like this one definitely is a 3D print, and you'll see on the next one some of the bits that have like arches and stuff where those are on the base. I wanted those in resin, and so you'll see the difference. The Skylord on a fountain, the fountain is resin, for example. All right, this next one is my favorite. Is it my favorite? I think it's my favorite right now, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I am right there with you. If it has a cool theme, I'm all about it. I don't even care if it's effective on the table. All right, what do you think of this next unit? You ready?
Let's see it.
Boom. So
Dude, yeah,
this one has got the arches, and what's crazy is happy stance, right? Like this is resin, but it broke. So what? Glue it together, right? And what you can't see from this angle is the other piece of it that would extend off the base is mounted to a 40 millimeter base, and that's part of the display board with the intention of down the road, I'm going to add a tyrant to it, right? And he'll be, but there's no tyrant hero in the army, but so right now it's basically 2.5 arches, and you can see it. I just think this is cool as hell, right? I just love like they're just jabbing at stuff, and you know, from a paint perspective, I'm really happy with the way the Rhinosaurs themselves came out. This unit is just, I love it, man. I love it. I will say, complete pain in the ass to get them on the base because I wanted them to all be pointing the same direction, and I wanted like the more armored, big snarling faces up front. It took me a really long time to get, like literally like a couple hours to get the guys put in the base where they needed to go, and yeah, I love it. It's just super cool. So that's this one. Let's keep rolling. I don't know what's next. All right, we're gonna get to the 2 hordes of tyrants. So this is the first horde. It has another arch that's just like the one we just saw. What I love about this one is that there are weapon repositions because there's only 3 sculpts, right? And I got 10 tyrants in my list, right? So I had to like mix it up a little bit. So you'll see a lot of alternate sculpt or like swapping of different weapons, right?
Mhm.
Like this guy should have had a mace, but now he's got a sword, whatever. But a couple things I want to point out. This guy kicks major ass. So he's got an arm. He's a phoenix caller. So he's got a baby phoenix on his arm. I don't know if you can see that in the picture, but it's the Armada Phoenix, the Phoenix from the Salamander Army, their Salamander fleet in Armada, and so it's a baby phoenix on his arm, and he's like one of those hawk. What do they call them? Falconers? I don't know. Anyways, I love it.
I remember when because you painted this one a while ago with the baby phoenix, and that's definitely my favorite model in this army. Like that is such a cool idea to bring in an Armada model like that, and the scale of it works perfectly, so it does look like a baby phoenix, like you said.
And
like,
it was really easy to do too, because like really his arm is supposed to be up like this. It's supposed to be like this guy over here, right? And all I did was I just cut it, and it was a clean cut at a joint. And it just rotated it down, and then filled in the joint with epoxy sculpt. So, thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. You're gonna see him a week from this weekend. I'll have him at the shop. We'll play. All right. So that's the first unit. He's got this was like the first flame that I did. That well, actually, I take that back. I did the Scorch Wings, and that was a whole. You guys heard the issue. It was a whole thing trying to get this thing to work right. Again, no airbrush, so I'm happy with the result. You could get a much smoother gradient if you know what you're doing with an airbrush. I don't have an airbrush yet, so that's what I did. All right, well, here's number 2. Let me go to the next one here. So this is the second unit. Again, they're both using very similar backdrops because there are 4 buildings on the display board. 2 of them are basically the same yet different. And that's another just topic where I actually modified the window depth to make them so they could squeeze the windows in, so we could squeeze the buildings close to each other. But anyways, so this is the second one. Same sort of. This is the very first Tyrant that I painted. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I spent more time on him. I love him. I think he looks cool. Let's see what's next. All right, that might be it. That's actually all 4. That's actually 15 units. That's the whole army, right? So that's it. Let me go ahead and stop that one right now. Remove that. So what'd you think, Trent? I was going to call you Tyler. I don't know, man.
It's the tease, man. They throw
It's
you
the
off,
tease.
Rob. That is a gorgeous army. I can't wait to see it in person. And then, do you have a story to go along with it?
Maybe I'll write it tomorrow. I have it in my head. I have a story.
You got time.
Yeah, I promise. I've got a lot to do on that ride tomorrow. So
yeah.
All right. Well, let's keep rolling. How'd your firefighter army come along?
You asking me? It's still in the box, man.
Okay. All right. Well, mine is out of the box and assembled, but it was a big fat. Honestly, the Kings of War army took so long that I didn't have time.
I think the extra time for Kings of War paid off, though.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So maybe next time, right? It is what it is. And for Armada, I already had the fleet painted. Didn't do anything for Armada. In fact, I don't have a list yet. And I don't even really know how to play the game, so I'm hoping somebody will give me a demo on.
Wait, are you playing Armada and Firefight too?
No, I'm not. So Firefight, I told Brian that I'll be the ringer, because I don't have an army. Yeah. So yeah. I'll fill in whatever he needs. We're gonna let I don't want to hurt Jeremy's feelings. We want Jeremy to feel good about himself. So let him be the countercharge Firefight guy, right? Go in there.
His Forge Fathers
looks great.
Amazing. Looks great.
Oh yeah, the green is really popping. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so I will help with Firefight, but I'll be focusing on Armada, and Jeremy obviously won't be doing Armada.
Yeah, I have that class before Firefight, and then it's right in the middle of Armada before Firefight, but it ends at like 3:30 or 4. So I'm going to come hang out and check out everything when Firefight's going on.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's keep rolling. So a couple other housekeeping things. We will have dice and stickers available. I got bags of 10 dice for $10, so $1 a dice. And we've got bags of 10, and I think I have 280 dice to sell. I think that's what I think I bought 300, and obviously Trent, you've got a set. So, so anyways, yeah, I've got some dice to sell. I've got some stickers. They're $1 a piece. I've got some different ones. I got some round ones. I've got some die cut countercharge ones. So just find me. I'll have my backpack on. I'll have some in the bag with me at all times. I'm pretty sure I'll probably have some in Jeremy and Trent's possession as well, just to sell them if you guys see them. To that end, we're going to be based in the room. It's called Utopia. It's a big ballroom. That's where we're going to be playing Kings of War. We'll have a corner there. I actually just chatted with Pat tonight. Pat Lewis from Mantic. We'll have a little section there, and we'll have a round little 5-foot table. We'll have we're only going to have room for 4 mics, but that's plenty of room. And we'll be podcasting and having a great time and hanging out. And if you want to play a place to drop your stuff, be my guest. Let's welcome to drop your stuff under our table. It'll be safe there. But the other thing that I do want to mention, if we have any 2-day GTTOs out there, come see me. I've got some brand new countercharger dice to give away to the countercharge award winners at a 2-day GT.
And those dice they're only for that, right? Like you're not going to sell them.
They're not for sale. They're not. Yep. No one's getting them. The only way you're going to get them is you win the countercharger award, which I have been told is mathematically and statistically the hardest thing to win. Because if you want to be good and win a tournament, you can just get good, right? You could join JoJo and start doing the Rocky montage and learning to do that, right? And get good. Or you could just sandbag it. If you wanted to be last to get the wooden spoon, you could just suck. But how do you land dead middle? Rough. By the way, I'm in good spirits, but I got a freaking speeding ticket today. I haven't had a speeding ticket in like 20 years, dude. And I literally tell my daughter, yes, because it's my wife's van, and I don't drive very much, and so I was doing 42 and a 30.
Oh, you got pulled over for that?
Yes. I was like, oh man. But you know what? Adepticon is so good. I'm not down.
It's gonna watch. Yeah,
can't bring me down.
It's fine.
So, but yeah, if you're a 2-day GTTO, come see me. I've brought a bunch of dice, and we got the dice, and then we have a certificate you can print out and fill in and stuff that you can print out whenever, you can add like a logo to your event and put some other stuff on there. But yeah, if you're a 2-day GTTO, come find me. I will. We've got some really cool. It's a translucent green and a translucent red, and it's got a white countercharge logo on each on the 6, and it looks cooler, I think. So, and again,
hey,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, who from Countercharge is going to be at Adepticon?
So it's going to be me, you, old host Mark Zielinski, the old dog himself, Andrew Sherman, the perennial first host, is going to be there. Jeremy, Tyler, Felix is a contributor. That might be it. It's a lot of people.
You got a whole crew, though. That's awesome.
Hey, it takes a village, my friend. You haven't seen what I'm bringing, dude. It's literally like a big section of my garage is like all this stuff is stationed. Like it's a pro. I told Pat, I said, it's like I'm bringing a film crew or a film gear because I've got like hundreds of pounds of equipment coming, banners, tables. Yeah, I'm ready though. It's been since July. Can you believe that? July is the last time we recorded in person, and unfortunately I had to fly to Seattle, so all I could bring was my mixer and these terrible lapel mics. They were the worst. So we're back. Yeah, we're back in full, like with the real condenser Behringer mics, and I'm super pumped about that.
That was Masters, right?
That was Masters July last year.
You didn't play. You didn't play in Best of the Rest.
No, well, I played in Best of the Rest as a ringer because I didn't bring an army because I brought my one carry-on was my mixer.
All your equipment.
Well, it was a mixer, and then in the bottom was a bunch of. Oh man, I can't. You were showing me your Pelican case. I'm gonna one up you when you see my new podcast swag, dude. It's like one big tower of power with built-in wheels and everything. You pull the whole thing. It's hundreds of pounds,
man.
Oh, dude. I mean, to be fair. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I don't think you could fly with that. So
no, you can't. But to be fair, to my credit, I am a packaging engineer by trade, so that's my deal, right? Michigan State all the way, baby. Michigan State. Who won? He's still in the Sweet 16. But yeah, so I mean, like, I have a reputation to uphold. When you see something the way I'm storing or carrying or transporting something, I have an ego there. Like it needs to look cool. Not only functional, it's got to look good doing it.
Yeah. That's why I like the Pelican case. It looks professional,
Right. All right. So just a reminder, Utopia Ballroom, that's where most of our activities will be going down. Well, let's talk about the schedule. So Thursday, we have the doubles event. I'm playing with Jeremy, Team Jesse. We're coming for you. And you're playing with Chris DeGrow, I believe, right?
Yep. He's bringing EOD, and I'm bringing my Undead.
And unfortunately, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say with me flying with limited space, I don't think I brought what we would wanted to bring because it's like a subsect of my 2,300 point list, but I think it's going to be fun. He's got a Legion of Chariots that he's going to run with the EOD, so it'll be cool for 2,000 points.
Awesome. Well, we're the same way. He's playing Ogres, my Ogres, because he's flying.
Oh, that's right.
And then his Ogre list is a subset of what he's playing in the Clash of Kings, which is also Ogres. And then I'm bringing Sally's. I toyed around with actually making one swap out. I was going to bring a Mage Priest, but then I thought better of it. Because I didn't show that. I do have a Mage Priest painted. And Trent, you've seen a lot of cool pictures. I haven't showed you one thing yet. I haven't showed you the infantry base. And when you see it, you're going to be like, mic drop. You're gonna see it. You're like, okay, it's cool. Because it is like it is. Now, to be fair, it is so finicky, and it's going to break at some point. It's basically how do I explain it? It's a balcony with like arches behind it. The base
Oh,
pulls out, and it has a
yeah.
part of the arch is the backdrop for the base, and that piece is resin, but the other one's just straight up filament, right? Regular plastic, printed. And so,
Yeah, maybe.
man, I didn't tell you this either, though. Oh my gosh, the other, you know what? I just realized I didn't show the picture of the other Scorchwing.
No, you didn't have any Scorch Wings in there.
And I didn't show any Scorchwing pictures, and I didn't show the other Skylord. So talk amongst yourselves. Let me find those pictures. What am I doing?
Yeah, because the Scorch Wings are my.
That's the highlight of the army. That's like the first thing I showed
with the rooftop. Like, oh, dude, it looks so cool.
Yeah. What a pain in the ass though to put in the battle foam case. I broke it a couple times. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was about to say
1/16 acrylic rods glued into the. It was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, what I was about to say is I think maybe we do a live stream after Adepticon with everybody doing all the repair work when they come back home.
I had a lot of repair work, just moving stuff around the display board, trying to get it to fit and stuff. It was a real nightmare. All right, let me find these pictures though, because now I'm like, how did I not?
Do you have one of the Mage Priests too?
You know, I don't, but you know what? I don't have any Scorchwing pictures by itself. So, because you guys have been so cool, I'm just going to go ahead and let me see. I thought I had a picture of just the Scorchwing.
You sent them to me on Facebook. If you can pull them up there.
Yeah. You know what, though? I don't have any by themselves. All I have them is part of the display board.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
All right. Well,
are you going to spoil it is the question.
No, I'm not going to spoil it, man.
Nah,
I want to see people's face when I start pulling stuff out of the that was a whole thing too, getting the display board. So the display board is like 4 buildings, and the buildings are in 2 pieces now. So I've got one bottom piece that's mounted with mounting tape to the board itself, and then the rest of it is all one big piece. And the reason why it has to be separate is when I'm taking the roofs out, I've got to like lift it up to get it in there because they slide out horizontally, and there's no clearance to slide them out all the way. So I had to make it, and plus travel. I'm not going to travel with the display board with buildings that are like 8 inches tall. Yeah. So I wrap those up in foam.
Hey, the actual buildings, I meant to ask the actual buildings, did you print those FDM and then the slots for the bases or resin?
This is my shout out to Mike Horner. What an amazing dude. He printed everything. I didn't print anything. He printed all of it. Oh, and I was the most demanding person in the world. I was like, no, this isn't good enough. And he printed me again. Like he was going out on a trip, and he like printed them overnight. And before he went on his business trip, he, it was really amazing. I mean, he did a great job.
Oh, almost forgot. Speaking of 3D printing, I have some little widgets to hand out too. Just a couple things. So it's one thing. I don't know why, but me personally, it's kind of a pet peeve with the artifact cards. Just like I hate having to just lay them on the unit. It kind of takes away from the immersion a little bit. So I found these little card holders where they it sticks under the base and the card like plops down in there, so you and your opponent can clearly see like what items go where. So if you find me, I'm handing a few of them out. Just hit me up and we'll see. I printed out like 50 of them. So.
Oh. So this was on your resin printer or your FDM printer?
No, it was so I just have resin, and I was worried they would be a little fiddly, but the way that the STL was, like the base is really sturdy, and then I think I have them in here actually. So none of them have broken yet, honestly, which is surprising because I've shattered a lot of resin, but it's a really simple design, and honestly, I probably should have sized them down a little bit. Yeah. See, it's literally just like the card goes in there. And then this base you just pop up under the unit. It kind of doesn't take up any room or anything. But it was a cool design, so I just kind of went.
That's awesome.
It felt like 3D printing for a few days.
I don't have pictures of what I wanted to show, so let me show you something else. Let me show you Jeremy's stuff. This is the latest batch that I just got today.
Yeah, man.
These are looking tasty, right? Yeah.
He said, if I remember correctly, he said he got his inspiration from like the Dark Angels for 40K.
Dark Angels, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, those look awesome. Can you zoom in on that a little bit? Yeah. Like, look at that. Look at the highlighting on that. Man, that looks great.
I think he did slap chop as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember him talking about that. That's so cool.
Let's see. He's got a few pictures
And they're
here.
Forge fathers too, which automatically makes them cool.
Oops. Let's see here. Let me just. And check these bad boys out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was that the Iron Ancestors?
I don't know. I don't play I don't know. Dwarf Angels. That's what they're called. Dwarf Angels.
I like it. I like it.
That's awesome. And then he's got these guys that look like some kind of special unit because they've got red pauldrons on their shoulders. And then finally he's got some of these guys. I love this with like this monocular thing. I'm not sure what exactly. I guess it's a targeting scope for the crack, whatever this missile launcher is.
The snow effects are really well done there too. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, he did a great job.
You couldn't find anything for your Scorch Wings though?
I don't have pictures that I can show, unfortunately.
Can't spoil it. Can't spoil it.
Yeah, I can't spoil. I can't. It's like I can't let people eat the icing off the cake. I gotta like deliver the cake first.
They gotta come see it in person.
So afterwards though, I'm gonna spoil it all over the place. So we're correct here.
Oh,
I'm not Mojner. All right, that's my guess.
Mjolnir. Thor's hammer, Mjolnir.
Okay. Yeah, I know that's what it's called, but is that how it's spelled? Because that seems like weird spelling. Okay. Well, awesome. Let's just look at our notes. I know we're coming up on time. Man, where did the hour go? That's what I want to know. Where did the hour go?
I'm probably not going to remember this tomorrow. I'm about to sleep for like 12 hours.
Let me pull up our notes and just kind of make sure that we got everything covered we wanted to get covered. Let's see. All right. So schedule-wise, Thursday's the doubles event. Team Jesse. We're playing Ogres and Sallies, and we don't have a grudge match for that. And you and Chris are playing Undead and EOD. Friday,
wet and dry.
Friday, I've got Armada in the morning. I don't think I have a grudge match, but I would love to play Hobie Roop because I deserve an ass kicking. So, it would be amazing. Saturday and Sunday, Adepticon Clash.
Yep.
I'm the only Sally player there. Does that make me the best Sally player at Adepticon?
You might have to. Oh yeah, maybe. Honestly, by default.
Yeah, I do have I got grudged. I got grudged by Kyle Ritchie and his dirty ogres. So at least I know ogres. So
I think I only saw one other undead player too.
There's not a lot of orcs and a lot of ogres.
So I'm at least going to be top 2 undead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've got a round 1 grudge match against Kyle, who you may not know. Kyle Ritchie is Blake Schroed's son. They're the guys that run the big game at Adepticon. So anybody that signed up for Adepticon, they're going to be running the 10,000, 20,000 points a side armies. It's crazy. It is worth the time sink, right? To go in there and get that experience of what is it like to play with that many units, right? It's Fast and Furious.
It's a different game when it's that big. It really is.
It is. We should mention that Adepticon Clash, all the lists have been posted. If you go on our Facebook page, we have a link there. It's puggamer.net. It's Mike Carter, who's running the events website. He's got them all posted there. So before we get out of here, what are you most excited for? Yeah, it's a big game. You need an extra G in that, Travis. What are you most excited for, Trent?
What am I most excited for? Honestly, I don't want to sound like a loser, but I'm just excited to see everybody again. I haven't been back in the
States. I want to see that stash.
July,
up close and personal, man.
Yeah.
I want to see that stash, man.
What about you, Rob?
Awesome. Well, I got a lot. So I got a few things. Number one is I can't wait. To what you said, I can't wait to see everybody. I am. And Mark says the lists are posted for the team as well. So that's cool. I love this. I'm sitting back in my chair. I'm in the corner of a big room and we're just holding court and we're just interviewing and chatting and just be like, man, where have you been all my life? You're my best friend. Can't wait to do that. We're going to get a bunch of new voices and a bunch of old voices on the podcast. We're going to record and record and record and record. And we're just going to, man, I just can't wait. Second thing, my daughter, you may have saw her. She was walking by earlier. I broke down and paid for Paint Rack. I don't know how well that's coming in. It's software to track what paints you have. So she had the fun task of going through my 300 or 400 paints.
She inventory your paint.
She inventoried my paint, so now I know what I don't have, so I can get a wish list going and buy the right colors. Because they have a deal like it's like $100 for 30 paints or something like that, and it comes with a case. I always do that. I'm like, yeah, because I mean, there's probably still. I mean, I probably have. What does it say? I'm guessing 300 paints is what I probably have.
Rob, are you mainly like a Citadel guy, or do you just use
100% Reaper? 100% Reaper.
Oh,
I
Reaper,
use
okay.
I use Citadel for their washes. I am a big fan. Now,
Yeah.
They changed the formula. Now I went to the store and I bought all the existing, like everything before the change. I bought like 5 of everything. So I have that. Well, this one, to be fair, this was easy because it literally already has an inventory of every paint that brand makes for all the companies. And you just click a color and say, I have it. Click a color and it's like, or if you have the paint pots, you can just go take a picture of it, scans the barcode and automatically puts it in your inventory. So like, it's not that hard. Yeah, not that hard. But you're right. If you had to do it the old way where I'm writing down all the colors, it would take a while. And I don't know. It doesn't tell me how many paints I have. I wonder if well, has anybody used this app and can tell me how to library?
What's the name of the app?
It's called Paint Rack.
Paint Rack.
I don't know. And you can do like a wish list, sort view, scan, grid view. Yeah, it doesn't tell me. Anyways, I have a lot of paint. Subi. The next thing that I'm really excited about is a few years ago we went and there was a game called Legends of Draxia, and I'm bringing it and I'm teaching it to you and Tyler. I think you're gonna love it. It's amazing. It's a fantasy deck builder, but it's super fast. It's for up to 4 players.
Ooh,
and you get like you get a role where you're like, I'm a barbarian, or I'm an assassin, or I'm a cleric, and essentially there's spells, monsters, and buildings. And depending on what role you do, you score points by killing monsters or building buildings, right? Or there's some spells that give you points. But depending on which character you pull, you get 3 random characters, you pick one. There's like bonus points, and that will kind of dictate your strategy. So, I'm the cleric. You want to build cathedrals. So that's what you got to get your engine built. Absolutely. His content is free tonight.
Oh, Adam.
Oh gosh. Anyways, long story short, this company has been at Adepticon in the past. I'm hoping that something like that happens again, where I find this game that me and my daughter love this game. Like, it's on my iPad now. There's a single player version on the iPad. I'm going to be playing it for 5 hours on the way to Adepticon. We'll be playing it in the hotel room. I'm telling you, you're going to love this game. It is a small box, but with a big impact. It's awesome. And I'm hoping for something else. Like, what's the next new thing I don't have? I was thinking I was going to buy an airbrush, but there's not all the companies are not all there. So I think my plan is I'm going to go to the classes. I'm going to learn. I'm going to find the right airbrush I want to buy, and then I'm going to buy it, but not at Adepticon.
Yeah, I'm planning on getting an upgrade too. Mine's I bought like a really cheap one to start, and it definitely has its limitations. So I'm gonna have to talk to you after that class, because I don't think that's the one I'm taking, but that'll be interesting.
Yeah, the one I'm taking is from CK Studios, which is a 40K guy. So I'm really excited. He's really, from what I understand, he's one of the best airbrushes around. So I'm really excited to hear hear what he has to say. Yeah. So Mark's asking. It's called Legends of Draxia. It's already packed in my village horde downstairs, ready to go. Mike is picking me up at 6 and gonna back his truck up and beep beep beep. We're gonna load the truck and we're gonna out hasta luego. You know. I don't even know if that's the correct Spanish. Sorry, I don't speak Spanish.
How long of a drive is it going to be for you guys?
10 and a half hours, something like that, 11 hours.
Yeah.
That's easy peasy, dude, bro. Come on, bro. That's easy. It's not like coming from Denver, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It could always be worse, man. It could always be worse. Yeah. Mark, if you're around, you and Colin would love to get you in a game with that. It's real quick to learn, and it's my daughter and me, that's our jam. To the point where she's 13, her friends come over, or she goes over there, she takes it over there, and she gets them all playing. There's an expansion. I'm not bringing the expansion. We're just playing the base game. Keep it nice, simple, and cheerful. So, well, we're at time, Trent. Is there anything you want to say that you didn't say to your adoring fans?
I don't think so. Can't wait to see all y'all. Please come say hey. And then I've I feel like we've been talking about this forever, and now it's here. It's kind of weird. Yes, I packed my decks. Actually, it freaked out security when I had to go through in the airport, and they like swabbed it for explosives and were messing with my cards and stuff. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, I can't wait to play some Magic. Bring your commander decks if anybody has them.
Yep. It's gonna be a great time. Cannot wait to hang out, meet people that I've met online in person. So, all right, well,
Yeah,
with
that's
that,
always cool.
let's go ahead and thanks for watching. And until next time, keep countercharging. We'll see you tomorrow at Adepticon.
See you guys.